Yo, what is going on, you guys? So today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. Now in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the 5 mistakes I have made while I guess starting off sports card investing. The 5 biggest mistakes I've made that really has costed me money, costed me profit, and that you guys can, I guess, learn and not make the same mistakes. But before we get into that, I do want to say, if you guys haven't already subscribed, if you haven't already hit that like button, go ahead and do so. And go ahead, comment down below what other card videos you guys want to see, because I'm honestly down to make any card videos you guys want. So go ahead, let me know. But without further ado, we're going to hop right into this. So the first mistake I made was scrolling eBay and not knowing what I'm looking for. I used to type in like NBA rookie lots and just kind of like went ahead and saw what was available. I would see like a Colin Sexton lot. I'd be like, ooh, that's a pretty good price. I'm going to go ahead and buy that. But without thinking, okay, wait, I'm actually going to have to wait like about 8 months for the season for him to play again, since he's not making the playoffs. And I don't even know if he'll be very good next year. You know, all these type of things. If you're just kind of scrolling, I guess, and impulse buying. It leads to a lot of impulse buying and just buying stuff because it seems, I guess, like a cool card, because it seems like a good deal and all this, when in reality you'd rather spend your money on something that's hot right now and you can make quick money on. There's definitely a lot of those mistakes I made. I bought a couple Tyler Hero lots. As big as I am on Tyler Hero, I don't think he's, I guess, the best investment for short term, which is what I'm trying to do right now. So that's definitely a big mistake you can make, is, I guess, not knowing what you're looking for. And that leads me into my second one, not having a set price on what you want to pay on something. If you're going into an auction not knowing, I guess, what the max you would pay on something is, you can end up overpaying a lot of the times, because, again, it's just impulse buying, right? If you're looking at something and say, what I used to do was look up, I guess, like, I'd look up a player that I want, say Kevin Durant, Topps number 2, or Topps PSA 10, and then I'd go to like ending soonest and just try to, I guess, snipe them, right? I would be like, ooh, what if, I can get a good deal here? But what I'd end up doing is I wouldn't really have a set price. So when someone outbids me, I would just be like, oh, it's only $2 more, and then keep doing it. And then say someone's bid like $550 and you're like, oh, $555, what's the big deal? But then you end up paying like $610 after taxes and not thinking of that too. And then you end up, I guess, paying a lot more than you wanted to. That's every single dollar you pay above that's just eating into your profit. So I definitely don't recommend you guys go into auctions blindly, not knowing what you want to pay, and just having discipline. If you're paying up to $150 on a card and somebody outbids you, do not, even though you think it's only an extra $5, I would recommend not, buying it and not continuing to bid up, because at the end of the day, you could end up paying, $25, $50 more than you wanted to, because you were just impulse buying. You like the look of the card or something. You got to have a max price, write it down, and stick to it. That's definitely a good way to maintain your profits and not eat into your profits by paying too much for a card. But then on the flip side, here's another mistake I made. This is the third mistake, is losing bids because you didn't bid high enough. So if you don't set your highest bid high enough, then yeah, that's gonna really screw you up, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna wish. A lot of the times I've lost stuff. I've set my max bid at, say, like 120 when the absolute max I'm willing to pay is 150, and then overnight, say the auction ends and I lose it and somebody bid 122.50 and got it, right? And then I'm mad I didn't, I would have paid up to 150 on it, and I'm mad I lost the deal. But you got to put your max bid on the absolute max you would pay, because you're not losing anything, and you're not going to pay the max amount unless other people bid it up to that price. So you really lose nothing by setting your max bid to the max you would pay, and not just trying to put your max bid to like 120 to see if you can get a steal, because chances are somebody's just going to outbid you and get it a little bit above that. So I would definitely recommend setting your max bid to the absolute max you would pay for a card. And without further ado, we're going to hop into the fourth mistake, which is overpaying on eBay with taxes without looking at Facebook groups to find better deals. For example, I think I'm in quite a few groups like NBA Hotspots and other groups. I definitely recommend you guys join them, because a lot of the times I've overpaid on something on eBay, then hopped into Facebook a few days later and found it for a lot cheaper. Because obviously if you're selling on eBay, you don't realize this, but the seller's losing another 10% on that, and you're paying another 10% with taxes and shipping, right? So that's a big swing right there. You're paying 10% more, seller's making 10% less. So if you go to Facebook, you avoid all those transaction fees, you avoid basically everything besides shipping costs and the cost of the card. So if you go direct to seller, direct to consumer, you can definitely make a lot more money on the selling side and the buying side. Like, I definitely regret buying some stuff on eBay, because if I checked Facebook, boom, I could have got it for $20 cheaper. Boom, I could have got it for $50 cheaper. Just many, I guess, like, just seeing stuff on eBay, wanting to buy it, and just kind of being lazy and not looking at Facebook groups. Join all the Facebook groups you can. Try to scavenge for that card. Chances are on Facebook you can even negotiate with people a lot more, because they know if they sell it on eBay, they're going to lose another 10%. So you can basically get stuff under eBay prices rather than paying over eBay prices when you pay tax. So that's definitely another thing I definitely regret. Go ahead, check Facebook. If it's absolutely not available on Facebook, if it's a rare card, yes, go to eBay. But a lot of these common cards, Zions, Lukas, Facebook has them. You'll get better deals, on these Facebook groups. So I definitely recommend that. And then the fifth and final mistake, was picking good, solid players with no hype. For example, LaMarcus Aldridge, Tim Duncan, all of these guys, sure, they're phenomenal players, but they have no hype around them. Their cards are not really going to increase if people, at the end of the day, the demand's so low, because nobody wants to own a Tim Duncan, or I guess, okay, that's a little bit extreme, but nobody cares as much for a LaMarcus Aldridge rookie as someone who's maybe not as good. Like, Kobe White's obviously nowhere close to, I guess that's a little bit weird of a, okay, say like other players who have a little bit more hype, but even worse players. For example, Zion, right? There's no way he should be an $800 card by what he's proved in the NBA, but he just has so much hype that people are willing to pay $800 for him. So you got to really, I guess, know what you're doing. My personal rule of thumb is, besides guys who can shoot, really, I typically do not invest in centers or power forwards. Yes, I think Karl-Anthony Towns is very underpriced. Yes, I think Nikola Jokic is very underpriced. Yes, Joel Embiid is very underpriced. But at the end of the day, I'd rather buy a point guard, a flashy point guard like De'Aaron Fox, who I think people love to watch play. At the end of the day, if you're a collector, and you're buying a lot of these things that drive up the market is collectors trying to buy stuff. If I'm a collector and I'm a fan of the Golden State Warriors, I'd much rather, like, say back in the day, right, about 2018, I wouldn't want like a DeMarcus Cousins card, right? Like, I don't know. I'd rather get like the hot flashy point guard, like a Steph Curry, Trae Young type player, than I guess like Nikola Jokic. They're just not as fun to watch. Maybe Jokic can shoot and he's pretty good, but mostly I'd much rather go for guards, small forwards, and shooting. Yeah, I would go with forwards. Maybe I've bought some Kristaps because he can shoot, and I think that in Dallas he can have like a 1-2 punch with Luka. But it's very rare for me to invest in big men. So I just really think you guys just gotta, I guess, know what you're looking for. If you're trying to buy into the hype, or if you're trying to go for just steady guys. Tim Duncan's card's a lot cheaper than it should be for how good he was, right? LaMarcus Aldridge should be much more expensive, but, it's just not, and that's the thing. People don't want it. People don't want it in their collection as much as a Kevin Durant or a Steph Curry or a Klay Thompson. So that's just the fact of the matter, and I would tend to stick away from power forwards and centers if I could go back and do it again. Yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Go ahead, drop a like if you did. And other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.